What is good? It is I, main protagonist. I'm here with my homeboy Monty, and we're about to do a spoiler review on the movie It Chapter 2. I know we didn't go over Chapter 1, but I don't think the channel was up at that time, and I didn't even think we needed to review it, so whatever. We're going to review Chapter 2, and we're going to start with our overall thoughts, starting with Monty.
I surprisingly liked it. And I say surprisingly because the first one I was disappointed by. I was disappointed initially, I would say, because I loved the original one as a kid, and I really loved everything about the book and Stephen King, and I really was like when it's moved up to the months and year leading up to this movie, I was really excited, really just overhyping it, stuff like that. And when it first started coming out, it got great reviews and stuff like that. Everyone said it was amazing. Maybe one or two people said it was bad, but I thought I was gonna be blown away by it. And when I first saw it, I remember I was in a theater, and I walked out just underwhelmed. I think it's a well-made. I thought the first one was well-made movie, great acting, but I think in a way it wasn't what I wanted to be, which is kind of bad to say when reviewing a movie versus what it is, what you wanted to be. But rewatching it, the first one, I like it more than I did before. But coming back around, I like this one surprisingly. It's kind of the reverse. I wasn't really hyped up for this one. I was not as much as the first one, and I heard mixed things coming out when people's reviews. So it seems like a lot of people didn't like this one as much as the first one. But surprisingly, I liked it. Of course, I have to watch it a few times to see if I still like it or if I like it more or like it less. But overall, I say, yeah, I like the movie. What would you say?
Now, I'm the opposite of Monty in the fact that I knew nothing about it. I didn't know the original. I didn't know a book. I didn't even know who Stephen King was. I know who Stephen is and I know who King is, but I didn't know who and what it was. I knew about it, but I didn't know. I'd never watched it. I don't think I was interested when I was younger, but besides that, I liked both It 1 and It 2. I guess mostly because I didn't know, original, so I can't say, oh, it was worse than the other one. I'm not going to be that type of person. But I liked it for what I knew about it and what it was. And the only thing I knew about it was it, like the freaking clown. That's all I knew because I've seen it, but I didn't know what it was. But I liked both. I liked Chapter 2. It wasn't that bad to me. There could be slight things that I didn't like, but we can talk about it further on into this review. And that's when we're going to get into characters and comparing the characters from the first movie when they were in their kid selves to this movie as an adult, to compare them to see if they were if it was spot on acting from both sides or if it was mediocre. And I'm gonna let Monty start this one off too.
Characters, I would say I thought the characters were pretty good overall. I think everyone acted very well. All the actors, what a lot of people are saying is the main guy who played Bill Hader played the older version of Richie, stole the show. As the main. Well, his performance was the highlight of the movie, I would say. Definitely funny and when he needed to be, and that's definitely dramatic when he needed to be. But overall, I think all the main cast did pretty good. In comparison to the younger characters, I definitely think everyone was well casted. I could see the younger characters in the older ones. So what I'm saying? Even with especially Eddie with the the older actor, I could still see the younger actor in him in a way, the mannerisms, how he looks. It's just which I think is perfect. Even with Ben, who was the chubby kid who grew up to be just masculine and handsome. But I can see, even looking at the older actor, I can still see, I could feel like I could see the younger actor in him, which is great. But I think overall I really did like the characters. Also Mike, who is the only African American character who's played by the Old Spice guy.
Hmm.
The movie. Isaiah Mustafa. Like who knew he can act, which is great. Who knew he can act, but he did really well.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, but comparison, I really don't have any complaints about the characters in it. Yeah, I think maybe some people may wanted to maybe focus more on the older versions of it, like maybe what's more going on in their lives as adults, or focus more on their adult issues. But I would say maybe, well, I'll probably get into that more in the story section. But just to wrap up, yeah, I like the characters and that they get paired very well to the other room.
I also like the characters. Not only did I like the characters, I like how they literally resemble their younger selves. Like at the beginning, you could tell that they were doing their own things. They didn't know, like they didn't remember about what happened in the past, and they were living their lives as adults, doing their own stuff. But as soon as they got back to freaking Derry, they went straight into their old characters, and it was so beautiful. Like they acted exactly the same, and I loved it. Like kudos to that. Like when you normally see a character that grew up like in a movie, really it's not them still. But when I couldn't tell. I just thought they were the same people that just grew up. That's how good it was. And I appreciate acting that way. When an actor can trick me in the way that they did, like letting you think, oh yeah, that was me, like that's good acting. And I know you're supposed to do that, but some actors aren't as good to be able to give you that satisfaction. And I appreciate it. Every character was good. They were very funny. The chemistry of the characters was good as well with all of them. Just like the kids, of course, chemistry was very well. Like it was normal, like they were actually kids. But this one was also good chemistry with every single one of them. Like they came right back, and I loved it. It was great. But like Monty said, we're going to be going closer and closer into the story, and that's what we're going to be talking about, the story, and if we liked it, and some little snippets, like maybe a part in the movie that we liked the most. Yeah. And I'll let Monty take. Oh, you want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My favorite part of the movie, I feel like that it's pretty dark, but my favorite part of the movie was freaking when Eddie died. Well, not died, but when he got pierced and then died. And it's not because of he died, it's because he died still being himself. Like his literal last words was
like I effed your mom or something.
Yeah, I effed your mom. Yeah. And that's freaking funny. I just didn't want to say the word. Yeah. I was like, how do I say this? Wow. But I like that part because like it's like he knew he probably knew he was gonna die, but like he stayed himself regardless. He didn't fear nothing. He didn't fear the death. He saw his friend and was just being himself through the end, and that impacted the end, making everybody emotional. And the acting was so good, and it just made you feel it. Like I got super sad when he got pierced in the back by it, and he was still talking and stuff. I was like, oh, he's gonna survive. He's just gonna be hurt. And I was like, oh yeah, it's still gonna be a happy ending. And then when I learned he died, I was so upset. I was like, that was my favorite character. Why did you take him away? I was so mad. Like, I didn't say that in my characters thing because I knew I was gonna say it in the story part of this video. But that was my favorite character, and they killed him off, and they killed him off correctly because it was very heartwarming. But at the same time, I was upset. But that's how I'm supposed to feel if it's good acting and a good story. So I'm gonna pass it on to Monty now.
Yeah, overall, I like the story itself. It's pretty simple. They have to just come back to Derry to defeat it once again. I definitely like. Overall, I would probably go into some specific things like main protagonist does, and I think one thing that was very interesting about it was how they handle like the origin of Pennywise, because I know about his origin from the books, and so and they didn't go too deeply. They touched upon it, you know. I mean,
there's supposed to be some special entity that came into
yeah, because you remember it's I don't know. This is a spoiler review, so I can probably go.
It's a spoiler review.
You know, I don't know. I can't. I mean, I probably have to look at my phone and go all the deals, but I know like he's basically like some Lovecraftian like entity from the Macroverse, a different. It's
that
very
came
complex.
in.
Yeah, like
with
being like millions.
The turtle,
the
turtle
like,
god or something.
So, yeah, it's. I can literally look at my phone and look it up, but I want to keep the review tight and on point. But definitely, I mean, they didn't really go into it that much, but they definitely hint upon it. You know, you saw like the little when Mike had like that vase or ancient artifact. It shows like the giant meteor coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I was surprised they didn't go into that much detail about it, but
I guess because it's a movie.
Yeah, maybe time constraints. But another aspect I liked of the story is how they handle like LBGT characters and gay characters, because that was a big thing. Because of course, because one thing the original movie, the miniseries online, or not online, but on TV, that had on TV, they didn't have the opening scene with the killing of the gay male and the beating up his boyfriend. That was in the books. That was in the books, but it wasn't in the original miniseries. So that was one difference they made to make it more accurate to the book. And yeah, I like that scene. I mean, I didn't like it because of what happened.
It was messed up.
Yeah, that was definitely messed up. But you know, it's messed up because you could say, okay, this person's going through something very terrible, getting beaten up and he got murdered by getting thrown off a bridge. But then he gets in the hands of Pennywise, so it was like gets victimized twice. But yeah, but continuing the theme of like LGBT, but LGBT, that theme of it, you have Richie, who turns out we find out he's gay himself, which wasn't in the book, the original book, or the miniseries, which is very interesting, because in the miniseries, and I'm not remembering it was a book, but definitely miniseries, there was a hint that Eddie was the homosexual one, so that was interesting. And I think it was very interesting how Richie didn't tell his friends. Like, I thought he was gonna tell his friends when they were all end, right? Yeah, like so that moment, that little brief moment, he's gonna blurt it out, but maybe it was more like a personal consolence thing. Okay, but that was very interesting how they did it, especially him as a young kid in the arcade and him confronting the bullies about him. I think that was handled well, and especially at the end with him and Eddie, and he's writing his name, his first name is the first initial of his name, Richie, and it's his plus, I guess, E, which stands for Eddie, I would assume.
I'm assuming that
too. Yeah, and you can tell throughout the movie they had a strong connection. I'm not gonna jump and say they were both, or it was like anything more than friends.
It could have been one-sided.
One-sided maybe, but it shows. I think it plays both sides.
Yeah,
their bond, their friendship, and
was so intertwined.
Yeah, even when they're talking crap to each other back and forth, it's love. And Eddie's last words was something towards Richie. So,
mainly Richie.
So I think it was powerful, and definitely Richie had the biggest impact when Eddie died. So that aspect of the story I really liked it. Very interesting. Like, definitely a plot twist, I would say. Mm-hmm. Story wise, something I could include in the story is the story itself, or the movie overall, is I didn't find the movie. There were a few good jump scares in the movie, but overall, I wouldn't say I was frightened by the edge of my seat. But I enjoyed watching it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a movie, but I'm saying like I really enjoyed watching the movie. I think it was fun.
Like the scene when the girl, oh my god, that was so stupid. Yeah. When the girl went under the bleachers, and Pennywise was like, 1, 2.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say 3.
Yeah, we'll go to Pennywise more in the next section, but
I hate him so much.
That's I can see your point on that one, but definitely like I think one of my scary moments was the statue part. That statue, which was in the book too, which was in the original miniseries, where he kind of pops out and scares. But yeah, the story. But overall, to wrap up the story, is I think we both liked the story and how everything played out. It seems like a lot of people from reviews, critics, and fans, they thought the movie was messy, which I can kind of see because you have a whole bunch of flashbacks, and the flashbacks is one thing a lot of people say they didn't like how the flashbacks are incorporated in the movie. Maybe kind of, how do you feel about that?
I'm glad you brought that up. And I like the flashbacks. The only thing I didn't like about the flashbacks is that they just threw it in there. Like, I would have felt better if those flashback scenes we saw in the previous movie. But it feels like the whole that Richie flashback with the coin. If I would have saw that back then and we would have gotten a hint, or at least that would have made it feel better, and we would have not they could have not showed us what was the carving just like they did in the flashback, and then showed us at the end. But no, they just put it in this movie, and the flashback with I just think they shouldn't have incorporated things that we didn't see previously. But that's only my opinion. They probably just assumed that they should put stuff because they weren't around each other at that time, just like they showed us. But the flashbacks we didn't know is what annoyed me. But I didn't really care. It didn't bother me that much to say I didn't like the movie.
Yeah, and definitely you have to have small complaints. Everything's not perfect, but yeah, I thought the flashbacks were pretty okay. And actually, I don't know whether you knew this or not, but for some of the characters, for a couple of the characters, I know Richie and Ben, they're actually CGI to de-age them because the actual actors have aged since the first movie.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know whether you noticed.
I didn't notice that.
I noticed slightly. A lot of people say that it distracted them, but I noticed slightly. But I thought it was pretty good overall.
If you don't think about it like I didn't, I didn't search for that. Yeah. But my perception skills could have been low right there. I was just into the movie. Yeah. Seeing Pennywise was already a freaking edit to me. Every time I saw him, I just thought he was fake. Yeah. But wow, I didn't know. Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's interesting information. Okay, so now we're done with the story. Now we're gonna move on to the main antagonist and it of the story. So do you want to start talking about him?
Sure. So when we bring up it, we're also going to be talking about the graphic design choices of his character, like the CGI choices that make him, because basically every time he's on the screen it's something that's edited about him. But it was annoying. I hated him. I didn't want him to be in the movie. He made me mad. Every time he murdered someone, I felt bad. And I know that's what I'm supposed to do. But dang, like the beginning, the gay guy, the couple didn't have to get beat up, and they got beat up. And then he got flung off a bridge. He was already getting miserable. And then Pennywise come over here, help him up just to murder him. Then the kid that Bill tried to save, freaking Pennywise was just luring him in there and just to murder him. Oh, I got so mad. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. I know you said about the first death of one of the couples. Definitely, because I will say definitely how Pennywise is because I think of the fear they were experiencing. So that's just, it might have been sad what he's going through, but definitely because it feeds off the fear. So I definitely think that was when it attacked him.
Man, I hate.
Because you would think maybe a horror movie, okay, Pennywise will go after the guys to beat the assaulters, so went after their victim too, that's why I say he got victimized twice, but
and then the guys that did the beating and throwing him off the bridge didn't suffer anything. They walked away with no scratches, nothing. They were fine, and then the gay guy got murdered. I was so pissed. They were just living their lives, and they got bothered, and then one of them got murdered. That's so sad. Oh my god.
But what's more your thoughts on Pennywise himself or the actual creature? What's your more thoughts of why you may dislike him or not? What specifically, characteristic wise or personality wise or appearance wise? What makes you go, okay, I don't like this character. It's not scary to me, or is it, not good?
Well, technically his character is great because he's supposed to. I'm supposed to not like him. Yeah. So in reality, his character is great, fantastic. I like how they portrayed him. He's supposed to be some sadistic, evil entity, and he's doing his job. He's antagonizing, he's bothering people, he's harassing the main characters, and he's doing everything he's supposed to. Even though I don't like him, and I say I don't like him, it's mainly because the things he does I didn't like, but he's supposed to be like that. And the choices of like who he is, like what he is, I like him as a character and how he's acting, but the way that he goes out in these movies are kind of lackluster. Like he gets, like he's supposed to be some all-powerful entity. He's getting beaten and like pushed away and outsmarted by humans. And at first it was children, now it's humans. And I don't know much about it, so I can't really talk about it, but it's just kind of funny how this all-powerful being that literally could possibly be like all-knowing, he can read minds, he knows about things about people that other people don't know, he knows all this stuff, he's like basically like all-powerful. I wouldn't say like omnipotent, but like he's omniscient, I think. And it's kind of crazy how he gets beaten. It doesn't make sense. Like I don't know enough to know, but it's kind of weird how he loses. He could have, I don't know. I'm done.
Okay. All justifiable complaints. My thoughts on Penny. I would say the it creature in this movie. I would say I'm not gonna say I dislike this version of Pennywise, but I would say I accept it. I'll accept it. I have to accept it. You know, I think I'm more of a fan of the original it creature played by Tim Curry. I would mostly say like the Pennywise character itself, the clown, versus this one. I just, like I said, I accept how it is, but I feel like I'm more of a fan of how the original actor played him and design. And, and a lot of people have complaints about this version. It just seems how he acts. It's just what people say, but maybe he's too intentionally scary, and but the original one was he was more like a clown. That was the point. He's supposed to be playful, not supposed to be scared of him. But I think the actor in this movie did a great job. I'm not like disrespecting him. I think he did good what he did. I think it's fantastic. But I think
he's so intimidating.
Yeah, he's tall. He's real tall too. I know we were in the movie. You guys said that he's real tall. I'm actually gonna look up the actor and see how actually tall he is. But exactly. But I think a lot of my ill feelings towards this version of Pennywise is due to my attachment to the other version, or what I would want him to be. It says the actor is 6'4".
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a tall clown.
Not that bad. That's a tall clown.
It's a tall clown.
Can't beat that.
That's a tall clown, definitely. But I'm there. Yeah. Also, let me ask you a question though, because I think a lot of complaint that this movie's getting is that Pennywise isn't in it enough. Do you agree or disagree with that?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. I think Pennywise was plenty enough. I feel like, and he had scenes of himself. Like he like the main characters of the whole movie wasn't even in every scene. Yeah. Pennywise was by himself when he murdered the gay couple. Yeah. He was by himself when he murdered the little girl under the staircase. He did his thing. Yeah. And he showed up in most of the scenes. Like he was in subliminally in every scene. So I'm pretty sure he was fine. And if people complain about the clown in general being in it,
like there's not enough of him.
I think more people would be aggravated because they know the original. That would probably be why.
I would say, that goes to my point. I'm glad you said that. I can segue to my point. I think why I had one of my flaws with the first movie is, at least with the original version miniseries, I think the actor, when he was on screen, he kind of just gave a performance. He was just acting out, perform. You know what I'm saying? Just there more, just talking and doing his thing. Well, I think more wise in the new chapter 1, the one that came out a couple of years ago. Definitely, I feel like this Pennywise more like a jump scare. Like he's there, boom. You might see him a lot throughout the movie, but he's there and he's clearly not there. So that may be some people's complaint with this one, where you may see him a lot, but he's only there like
for a second,
like briefly, like when Ben when he had his little quest where he has to find wherever you need to find. I think the note, the yearbook page. He's in the school. Whenever he's in the locker.
Yeah.
Pennywise wasn't there for the entire, but he came at the end just for briefly. I think, I think. Honestly, I was surprised how much, because I was expecting not to see him at all. But I was like, okay, Pennywise is there. He's there. Also, we got to understand is Pennywise is not actually a clown.
He's an entity.
He can shapeshift
into anything. Just like you could argue saying, freaking Pennywise was the old lady.
Yeah,
that was creepy. That's all I wanted to say.
So the creature was there a lot, and I think you did see. Pennywise could have been there. Maybe could have been there more, have more screen time, like maybe extend his scenes a little bit longer. Yeah, sure, but I was satisfied by enough Pennywise we saw.
I was too.
And really, you get like 5 to 10 straight minutes of him as like a giant spider thing. So I think that's Pennywise in your face right there.
Exactly, and there's not enough Pennywise. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think one of my favorite scenes of him was when the statue part with Richie and he's sitting on the shoulder of it, and then he starts saying about he knows his dirty little secrets like that. I thought it was cool. Like I was saying, that's a scene right there. You have the little scene to himself.
He's there.
I think there was more scenes like that where he's just right there for a good amount of time, just doing his thing. I think people would be more satisfied with him, or a scene under the bleachers where he's just doing his thing. Just there for a little bit, just.
I think it was appropriate.
Yeah,
the amount of time, because if you see him too much, you wouldn't be intimidated anymore. Yeah. Seeing him too much means that you would be too used to him. Why would I want to do that? I want to be surprised.
Definitely, but I'm sure I have something else to say. But let's move on to what you said about the graphics. How do you feel about the graphics?
I liked most of them. I think the only time that I can say it was a little too much was the last scene with the spider clown.
I can agree with that.
It was a little bit too cartoony looking, and I wasn't feeling it. I accepted it, just like Monty does, but I don't know. I'm so used to seeing stuff be more realistic. Like everything else is perfect. Like, I think all the other stuff looked super realistic. But then when he was giant, he started it's like the bigger he got, the less quality of the graphics got.
Yeah. I was surprised that when he was in that giant spider form, his face wasn't all monstrous like it was before. Mm-hmm. I thought if his face was a little bit more scary, monsters it would have been.
But it was just his big old head.
Which I'm glad to see the clown. Like I'm happy. I like the clown. Like I may not say it's not my favorite version of it, but I like
But you accept it
more. Yeah. Yeah, definitely I accept it. But overall, it itself was okay. It's not the version I want. It's not what I wanted to have that character at, or how I would have gone about the character in a way, but I accept it for what it is,
So it was good. It was okay for what's given to you.
Yeah.
It could be better. Everything could use improvements.
Exactly.
But for what we got, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Definitely.
So now we're going to wrap up this video with our opinions to let you know if you should actually see this movie or not. And in my opinion, I think you should see this movie. And if you don't, well, that's your choice. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And if you saw chapter 1, I think you should see chapter 2.
Yeah, just to complete the story a
Yeah.
little bit. I think I would definitely say it's worth seeing, whether you like it or not. I don't know. I can't tell, but I think it's worth it. It's the experience. And plus, if you saw the first one, whether you dislike it or not, I feel like it's just worth just to get a complete story. You know what I'm saying? Because basically, if you're watching, basically this is chapter 2. Basically, one's chapter 1. So you kind of. If you only see the first one, you're only getting half the story. So I think in a
you're
way,
almost there.
Whether get at least get the whole, whether you like it or not. It means your money, do what you want. But I think another thing to consider is this movie's 2 hours 45 minutes. Did you feel the length or the movie?
I didn't feel the length.
I didn't either. I thought it moved pretty well. It didn't feel like 3 hours to me, but almost 3 hours to me. A lot of people say it was boring and dragged and long, but I thought it was constantly going.
It was constantly going. People are over. Oh my gosh, people are overreacting with this movie, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's not excellent. Yeah. I won't say that.
Yeah.
But it didn't make me feel like I'm sitting down for too long.
It's worth my money. I have to see it again. Man, I may feel different, better, worse. I don't know. But I think just coming out the theater, sitting on it a couple days. We saw it Friday. It's Sunday now, so I still liked it. I'll watch it again instantly. I think it had a lot of good. Is it perfect? No, but I think the good outweighs the bad for me personally.
Yeah.
You know, so
I agree completely.
Yeah.
And whatever opinions you have, you can share in our comment section. If you like this video, like our review, subscribe and like the video. If not, still like and subscribe. So we are going to be out. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Okay, roll in here. Let's get it.